I haven't, hysterically, I have not been playing a ton of music through COVID. I mean, we've had the drive-in shows and, and the Instagram live stuff. But admittedly, over the last several months, I've been like deep in writing this memoir, which has been an exercise in absolute insanity. But I was trying to think today, like, what are some songs that I like that don't get played, or what's a song that like I haven't played in a while that feels connected to this part of my journey, like where is there some parallel track back to my other music? And I kept coming back to the song that opened up Jack's Mannequin's Glass Passenger record, a song called Crashin', which I think for me, that song found me when I was dealing with a lot of writer's block, and I was really sort of struggling to find my voice, and then realizing in this weird moment that even if I did find it, perhaps it wouldn't matter, and there wouldn't be anybody there to listen to it. I felt this like weird sense of impermanence, and sometimes I think in the middle of this pandemic that has felt a little bit I don't know, a part of the experience too. So I'm going to kick it off with a tune called Crashin'. Some music now that they're driving us all underground. Not the radio music or the satellite singing this town, in this town. Wanna hear some music, and with the right stars I'll flicker and fade. Pirate radio music, I'm a ghost of a grand on parade. And even if your voice comes back again, maybe there'll be no one listening. And even if I find the strength to stand, it doesn't mean I won't go missing. And the world will come crashing. I wanna hear some music, but I have been waiting down here for so long, trying to write this big music with your breath in my face. But now you're gone, and even if your voice comes back again, maybe there'll be no one listening. And even if I find the strength to stand, it doesn't mean I won't go missing. And the world will come crashing, and the whole world comes down. Words like all the water on this broken town. Freeways just like veins without a heart. The world just comes crashing. Watch my whole world come crashing. Yeah. And even if the voice comes back again, maybe there'll be no one listening. And even if I find the strength to stand, it doesn't mean I won't go on. And even if your voice comes back again, maybe there'll be no one listening. And even if I find the strength to stand, it doesn't mean I won't go missing. The world will come crashing. Yeah, the words will come crashing. Yeah, let the music come crashing. crashing down, crashing down, crashing down on you. Down on you. It's down on me. Hey. Good to see you guys. This is so wild. Okay, I'm going to keep playing because I think everybody's on mute. Otherwise, I talk to you. We can talk afterwards. So this next tune, I haven't ever played it live because I wrote it. It's like one of the few things that I wrote during the pandemic, and was just feeling nostalgic and a little melancholy just about the year that had passed, sort of right before the year turned over. And it's so nice to be in a moment where it just feels like maybe we're seeing a little bit of this light at the end of a very kind of dark moment. And I found this song in the middle of that, and it was just like I've been working on the book, and I had this moment where I sit here. This is the room where I work, and I was just been staring at my piano. I was like, I think I want to write something with you, you know. And this is what came out. It's called, for lack of a better title, New Year's Song. Summer arrived like a fire with the wind. Yeah, this year I can hardly believe. And all of your plans just slip through your hands like paper boats washed out to sea. Hope the things that went missing come back when you need. And I'm wishing you a happy new year, and I hope your dreams will come true. Dear, that your money gets made, that they throw you parades and patch up your boat with strong glue. Here's to a year that's brand new. Remember the highways, the birthdays, the friends. Remember airplanes and parties and shows. All the things that we miss, all the days that we drift, all the dreams you let go of. I want you to know that I'm wishing you a happy new year, and I hope your dreams will come true. Dear, that your money gets made, that your music gets played, and the bars open late just for you. Here's to a year that's brand new. I'm wishing you a happy new year, and I hope your dreams will come true. Dear, that your money gets made, that you're loved and you're safe, that you win so much more than you lose. It's dark, the light's coming soon. Here in a year, it's brand new. Good to see you, buddy. How cool is it? You've been to Nowhere before. It's a lot of fun, huh? We got to get your friends in here. We got to get Clemmy over, and we'll have a little party. Hope you all are doing good. I can't hear you, but we'll talk soon. I'm going to play one more tune for you, and then I'll jump down and we'll chat a little bit. This next one, it's kind of appropriate that my girls all showed up for this one. You know, I think the trickiest thing about, you know, growing up is figuring out this idea of like, what is success? You know, and I think a lot of times it's really easy, especially for me, who's a restless person, to chase success and try and make that money and keep people fed and do all the things. And sometimes you realize that in the pursuit of what we consider success, a lot of times we miss out living lives with the people that we are building lives for. And I just love this song. I wrote it with a guy named Jimmy Robbins and a woman named Ivory Lane, who you guys have probably met before if you came out to the last tour that I did. Got crazy, the last tour 2 Decembers ago. But it's a song called Dead Man's Dollar, and it's about just that. That's one you like that one? That's one of your favorites? Okay, I might need my knee if I'm gonna perform it, so I'm gonna let's scoot you over here. Love you. Don't wait until the morning. Don't wait until the light hits the cracks in the floor. I've been living in the flight path. It's not perfect, but it's all we can afford. I spent the whole day working, been trying to pin these dreams to the wings of a check. So don't wait until the morning. So tired, but I don't want to go to sleep yet. Yeah, I've been killing myself to make the dead man's dollar. Been killing myself to make the dead man's dollar. Been killing myself, cause I wanna make a life for you. I wanna make her, I do. Yeah, I wanna make a life for you. I wanna make her, I wanna make her, yeah, I do. Yeah, I wanna make a life for you. Wanna make a life, but I wanna live there too. I know this isn't easy. You got the baby sleeping all by yourself. It feels like I'm always leaving. I swear to God, one day I'll be there to help. Till then, I've been killing myself to make the dead man's dollar. Been killing myself to make the dead man's dollar. Been killing myself, cause I wanna make a life for you. I wanna make her, I wanna make her, I do. Yeah, I wanna make a life for you. Yeah, I wanna make her, I wanna make her, I do. Yeah, I wanna make a life for you. Wanna make a life, but I wanna live there too. You and me and the dark make light. Let's work all day and stay up all night. You and me and the dark make light. Let's work all day and stay up all night, all night. I wanna make her, I wanna make her, yeah, I do. I wanna make a life for you. I wanna make her, I wanna make her, yeah, I do. Yeah, I wanna make a life for you. I wanna make it, you and me and the dark make light. I wanna make her work all day and stay up all night. I wanna make it, you and me and the dark make light. I do. Yeah, I wanna make a life for you. I wanna make a life, but I wanna live there too. Don't wait until the morning. Thanks for helping on that one. I liked it. I learned a cool trick that, John, I don't know if you can hear me now. I really like this one.
That's the best. That's the best one. Everybody can do that if you press 1.
So, John, I'm going to come down.
Yeah, look at all those flippers.
Should we unmute people, or do you want to talk? Do you want to unmute people and then we can talk? I know you wanted to sort of have a chat about things, and I think this respectful crew, I think they can handle it.
I think they can handle it. Everybody, actually, the secret is you can unmute yourself if you push M. Everybody can push M, and let's give Andrew an applause for those beautiful tunes. Woo!
Yeah. It was so adorable.
Now I can hear us. Thanks so much, Andrew. It's so beautiful to hear your music in Nowhere, and great to see the little lady supporting you as well. That was about as cute as when she climbed up on the piano during Pen and Piano.
Good one.
Yeah, I'm really curious, because I wasn't able to witness it. Maybe some people in the audience were able to. How was it performing at a drive-in concert? What was that like?
So for me, look, I mean, it's not a real show in the classic sense, so there's that. But I think, especially at the moment that we were in, just to be in any shared space, any version of a shared space with people, it really felt. It felt like weirdly it felt like almost more like a public service than a concert. You know what I mean? And there was it was this idea that we built something so that people could safely be in a spot and celebrate and enjoy music and be around each other, whether they could be on top of each other, or not. And I actually had some really amazing nights. We got to do a bunch of them, and it was life affirming in the middle of what was otherwise a pretty lonely moment. Just to be with the band again felt so good.
Right.
Just to, we were all COVID tested and did all our quarantining and everything. Then we were able to be in a space together. I was like, oh, I missed this so much,
Yeah, that must have been amazing. Is that the only time you've seen the band during the pandemic?
Yeah, so largely because everybody's sort of spread out. So Jay went back to the East Coast and has been taking most of his time and spent most of the time in Virginia. And then Bobby's on the East Coast. Zach's traveling the world in a van. I've seen Morgan and Mikey a little bit more because we did the Dear Jack benefit together, the three of us, and they're in LA.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen them a little bit more, but really, we've just been kind of sequestered and hanging down here, the three of us, me, Kelly, and Cecilia. That's kind of been my world, and I can think of a lot worse worlds to be in. It's been a blessing considering what I do, that I actually have the chance to be with them, even if we're stretched a little bit and have to kind of, tweak around the edges to figure out what comes next. But it's been okay.
Yeah. How many cars came? Was it like a big thing? It's hard for me to even imagine it.
We limited every lot to, I think, 380 spaces. There were a couple people, there were a couple promoters that I think got a little greedy and, tried to put 1,000 cars in a lot to make a whole bunch of money. And it was like, look, we're not, and it was a super expensive show for people to get to, which was kind of kept me up at night, but it was also one of the most expensive shows that you could possibly put on, just because of the amount of logistics and the amount. It was just it would make your head spin. And we sort of resisted the temptation to go big, because even if you're in that last row of the 400 cars, you're pretty damn far away, so we kind of keep them small.
Yeah. We had Neva in here earlier, which is the National National Independent Venue Association that lobbied Congress to get a ton of money for small venues. And you've spent a career, performing in all kinds of venues. And I think about this time for music and how much of a stressor it's been for both musicians and for venues, and where the future holds. And I wonder, is there learning that you feel like you've had during this time with the Instagram live shows or the drive-in concerts that you feel like will move forward when we come back to live, in what you've learned, with you now have a setup where you're able to perform, digitally, and how do you feel like this time has influenced you, that even when live comes back, like how will this learning carry forth?
Well, so I think for me, I'll pull this microphone a little closer to me now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So,
yeah, give me that sweet reverb. Give me some of that.
Yeah. I can take the reverb. I can actually ditch the reverb too. Let me.
No, it's good. I like it.
Oh, you want me to talk smooth to you, John Moore?
I always like that. I always like that sweet reverb.
Okay, cool. I'll give you some. I'll hit you with my sauce here, a little vibe for you. I think for me, I'll take elements of it for sure. I mean, we're one of the things that we're working on, because certainly like having this much time at home has been a revelation in a sense, and also being freed up to do a different kind of a project, like in doing this book. And I promise you, I don't think I'll ever write another book to save my life. That's
I want to get to that. I want to grill you about the book.
About 10 months into that, I was like, what the fuck have I agreed to doing here? But one thing that I think it did sort of codify in my mind is like, we have this incredible base, and everybody is sort of so connected and so positive. I think we're going to try and spin it out. Like, I mean, the Instagram live things have been cool, but I think we're going to try and spin our world out into something where there's like not so much like a fan club, but a more curated space where like, if people belong to it, like we'll do the shows there, and maybe like one thing that we did learn, I think, was that doing like live stream shows, especially even like the high production value ones, like the one we did for Dear Jack, and then the one we did around the first drive-in, like it was so cool to put on a gig, but then put on a gig for anybody in the world that wanted to see it. And I think I think there's going to be a lot more of that in my life. I think, like when we go on a tour, I see like, if whether it's whatever this side community is that we're going to kind of try and work on and launch in May, like, we're on a tour, like we're going to hire cameras and we're going to broadcast a couple nights of that tour. And if you belong, that's just a part of the deal. We're going to do some stuff like that just to, and I think because obviously you see, I recognize so many of you guys probably from years and years of shows. And it's like, to sort of build something, I think that honors that, and honors what's like sprung up around even in my world. I mean, during this pandemic, I had people like I've never talked to, like Venmo me cash, like because they were worried about me. You know what I mean? Like fans. It was like you don't need to send me money. It's okay. But like that. But I think there's just a depth there's the bond that I've had with my crowd for so long, going through these multiple iterations of my life and my music, and if I've taken anything from that, it's sort of like how do we prop that up and cater better to those of you out here that have been fans for a long time, and more, like I said, more shows, more live stream shows in general, I think is going to be a big part of my world going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's great to hear. I think the other thing that I feel like it is so much about this change for performers as well, and you mentioned it, in your pod at home with your family, is that so many performers thrive and off the energy of the audience and off of touring and off of being present and in collective energy with people. And I wonder if you'll share, some things that you've found that have given you comfort and helped fill that for you as a musician over the years. I know you've taken up surfing and, you're writing a book, you're doing things that you probably would have never done, without the pause. And I wonder if you might share some things, like it has been such a year of loss and such a year of transition, like, things you've done, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think the fact that I had discovered surfing the year before this all went down, it just, I mean, I don't want to say it saved me. I feel like if I'm being perfectly honest, you know, I think because of Kelly and I had already gone through such, years ago, going through cancer was it was like such a year of like turbulent, like very difficult living. And so when this happened, I think we were more equipped emotionally to handle a disruption, especially one that didn't really put our lives, our personal lives in danger. I felt like we were able to sort of batten down the hatches and figure it out. And we were like, we're so therapied out by like over therapy. I'm like,
no,
no, I'm into it. It's like, I think I said it wrong, but like, we've been going for so long, that I think that when it came up, we were able to work through it, I think, in a pretty healthy way and figure out how to do it. And we used it as an opportunity to pare back, obviously, like, we weren't making any money. So it was like, we had to run really lean. But it was such to be able to spend that time with Cecilia when I was otherwise had been on the road and with Kelly, like, we just like, we hunkered down and hung, and it was good for us. The surfing was major. The surfing was just to be able to connect to nature in such a deep and meaningful way while this was going on. I got a whole lot better. I got to do a lot of it. You know what I mean? It was like a year that I would have been spent like forgetting how everything I'd learned in my first year getting coached. Like, all of a sudden it was like I was in the water, and I get up at 5 a.m. and get in the water while it's still dark and surf alone. And it's like, it's just amazing. And there was a lot of that in my life, which was great. And then the other thing was I chose to do this book. I mean, it's nearly killed me. And I feel very raw and very strange about the fact that it's going to be read by human beings. But it gave me a ton of discipline that I would not have had otherwise. It forced me to wake up in the morning and wake up, surf, get to school. And then I sat down for 6 to 8 hours a day, just at a computer, trying to investigate my memories and where I come from and why I am the way I am, it's taken everything. But I think I would have been a little bit lost if I didn't have a project that was that took that much of my energy and my focus.
Yeah. Amen to that. I created a virtual world to keep myself occupied, so I just hang out with my friends in space. Well, I'd love to give, this is such a platform about collective experience, and it's so lovely to see all you people here with us. I'd love to give you guys a chance to ask questions, do a little Q&A while we've got Andrew. In Nowhere, if you push the space bar, you can jump. So to raise your hand, that's our raising a hand. If anybody has a question, wants to ask Andrew,
just for fun,
give a little bounce. Yeah, there you go. All right, Elise.
Okay.
Hey man, how's it going?
How's it going,
Can you hear me?
Elise?
I'm doing
Yeah, I
good.
got
you. Can everybody else
I
hear
was wondering, yeah, I can hear you both. I was wondering if you're planning on doing any more drive-in shows now that numbers are going down, especially I'm in LA now. I know that the weather is nice enough to do a drive-in show, and looking ahead to this year, I don't know the next time I'll see live music. The last time was right before I moved from New York to see you at the drive-in show. That was my last show. So I'm itching for it, and I'm curious if you have any more plans as numbers go down and people get vaccinated.
Yeah, so we actually do have what's considered like loosely a pod concert coming up in Detroit in May. This will be the first of my announcement. I think it'll get announced next week. We're gonna do I don't care. I've never been one to
First heard on Nowhere.
So that show is similar to a drive-in in the sense that there's going to be social distancing, and you basically go in whoever your group of 4 or I think 4 to 6 people, whatever it is, you can that you buy a ticket as a group, and you show up kind of like, but there's no cars. So it's like everybody's out in an open space. We're going to be somewhere on the lake, I think. And that'll happen at the beginning of May. And then, yes, we're keeping our eyes out for other shows like that over the summer. But another spoiler alert, I do have a tour book for I guess it'd be the beginning of the fall through the end of the year. And I'm, crossing my fingers, obviously, daily that these case counts get under a certain level and we get vaccinated and that it's safe. Obviously, we won't do it if it's not safe. But I think there's a lot of indicators, suggesting that we will be able to be doing these shows again come the fall. So I plan on playing many gigs. Like we looked at the calendar and Kelly and I were just like, holy shit, like how are we going to, like we've been home for so long, but I'm planning on being back out there at least.
Awesome. Well, hope to see you. My birthday's in October. So let's have an LA show in October for me. That's all I want.
Sounds like a
John,
plan.
you put up the stuff.
I'll reroute on your behalf.
Yeah, it seems like the right thing. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks, John.
Of course.
Got it.
Anybody want to jump?
Anybody else? Anybody else want to bounce?
Right.
I got to bounce up. You
choose,
choose, Andrew.
Let's get you up in the front. Yeah. You in the front there. I don't know how to pick
in the front with the kids, with the cute kids. Look at all those cute kids.
They can hear you.
Wait, I'll get the kids next. I saw you jump again. It's like I'm using my hands and pointing as if you can see me pointing at you. You have your hand on your hand like this over your lower lip. Yes.
Such a big part of my lockdown experience. I spent the whole beginning part watching your live doing some mixology. So I'm wondering what your favorite drink is.
Oh, good question.
Yeah, so I mean, right now I'm actually it's pretty basic. I've been doing a tequila old fashioned has been my like it's like the simplest drink you can make. It's a sugar cube, 3 dashes of bitters, a little bit of club soda, mash it all up and stir it, and then you add a couple ounces of. I mean, it works for anything. You do it with tequila, do it with mezcal, do it with rum. People do it with bourbon, but I had to quit drinking brown alcohol at some point in my life. But that's been my go-to tequila old fashioned. How about you? What's your favorite?
Recently, my roommate and I have been making a lot of margaritas, topping it with like a grapefruit soda.
Ooh.
Yeah, really nice little twist on the traditional margarita. But I was on when you did your Cinco de Mayo margaritas last year, so I think that's what really got me kicked off.
That's awesome. We'll have to do it again.
Definitely.
Okay, let's talk to our friends over here with the young ones. If they're bouncing, I don't know if you were, but I'll
come over. Gary.
Yeah. All right, Lindsay, what's your question for him?
Me?
Do you get nervous when you perform?
Do you get nervous when you perform?
Do I get nervous when I perform? I get terrified when I perform. I literally get nervous to the point of shaking a lot of times before I go on stage. And what's that?
That's the younger brother.
Hey, younger brother. Yeah, but I've been so nervous. I'd say the most nervous that I've been in recent years was when we got to do the first Billy Joel show. I was playing a baseball stadium, it was just like with my idol. And I remember just sitting on the side of the stage, like almost blacked out because I was so I was freaking out so hard. Like I put my hands on the keys of the piano. I was just like, pray that your muscle memory and your voice delivers, because I just went totally blank, like same thing happens to me anytime I play TV. I swear to God, the light turns red and I am like, I forgot what my hands do. I don't understand, literally. So I get very nervous. That was a great question. I think it's proof that I still care. All right. Okay. Is that Mike there? Hey, brother.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Here, go scoot down and around a second. See your face.
Oh,
You're kind of on top of one of your buddies there. There you go.
am I
All
better?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, you and Chantel are like
So
a
You and
merged.
Chantel, digital consent, guys.
it was
Digital
the first
consent.
person. It
Careful.
was the first person I saw that I got in here. I'm like, I know somebody in here.
Hold on.
So
Hold
I,
on. Hold on one second. Okay, wait. Okay, now you go ahead, my friend. Sorry, I can hear you now.
no problem. So book question, twofold. One, how far along would you say you are in the book? And two, what does the book cover? Are we talking like you writing like a biography here, or are we just like doing little snippets? What's the deal? I'm curious.
So my deadline is April 1st to turn in the finished manuscript for copy editing. So I'm on my fourth edit with my publisher, which I've been doing. I spent the last 5 weeks living in Joshua Tree 4 days a week. I drive out on like Tuesday and I drive back on Friday, spend the weekends here. And then I just literally write like 15, 16 hours a day in this like little motel. It's pretty dope. But what it covers, look, I didn't want to write like a traditional biography or a memoir. It is in a classic sense, something like that. It's told through the lens of my the literary device I chose to use was that I talked to my three favorite pianos, and so the book is broken up into sort of sections of three different books that cover three different periods of time in my life where those pianos, the individual pianos, have been really pivotal in. So the piano that I grew up with in my parents' house, this piano that I'm playing you, that I wrote Transit on, and was the first piano I toured with something corporate. And then my old brown grand piano, like I call it my bulletproof Frankenstein, because it's got metal legs and electronics and all sorts of modifications so that it can survive the beatings it's gotten over the past decade. But that's about how it works. So yeah, it picks up when I'm a kid and kind of tells you what I was like as a kid, and it really isn't about business, and it really in a lot of ways isn't even about being in bands, although that obviously is covered. Or the making of records. It's not like a traditional like, oh well, the fans would want to know how I wrote this song or whatever. Like I didn't do any of that, so I apologize in advance. It's really about family. Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's really about family and about trauma, and it's about getting sick and getting better and trying to get myself on my 2 feet. It'll probably be a pretty revelatory thing for some of you, and you might be like, "Whoa, I didn't know that dude was that messed up." But I'm good now, so it's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. John's like, I knew you were messed up. Yeah, I know you didn't. You meant
you don't have me fooled. You ain't got me fooled.
Yeah, who's over here? Am I missing anybody? Anybody want to? Is that Jimmy? Is that Jimmy over there? It looks like him. Hey, Jimmy, good to see you, bud. You want? Yeah, go for it. Go for it, dude.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, how are you?
Good. So since this is your second rock boat coming up, do you have any like expectations different from the first one we did? I guess you did, but I watched.
I think just knowing now. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying that we did, but I didn't really do it. I just watched. So do you have any other like different expectations from the first one?
I mean, look, I didn't know what to expect when I got on it in the first place. I think you found that I quickly got very into the whole thing. I was like, I loved it, which I hate being on a cruise ship, to be honest. I'm like the last guy you want to put on a cruise ship. Right. But I found the whole thing I just felt like I went to camp. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't get to go to camp when I was a kid, and like going on the rock boat was like, this is just like a big, adult drunk rock and roll camp, and there was something kind of beautiful in just the way everybody supported each other, and the bands were really, so I don't know that I have an expectation other than, trying to go into it and make it a really special experience for everybody. I really enjoyed like doing the mixology thing and doing the different kinds of sets and I think, to the extent that like just to be actually out in the sunshine after this last like year and a half, like, right. and playing in a beautiful environment, obviously provided everything is like safe and contained, which I'm hoping it will be by then, but should it happen, and I'm really fired up to make it awesome.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Anybody else? I see a dark circle bouncing up and down in the middle. That guy.
Virtual Dear Jack on audio or video?
Say again?
Any plans to release the virtual Dear Jack concert on audio or video formats in the future?
Yeah, so we're like I kind of hinted at earlier. We're working with this company called Pillar, not to be mistaken with a parlor. This is a. So they're called Pillar, and they have been doing this cool thing. There are a handful of bands that we know that are friends with that are using these guys, and it's kind of like it's an inexpensive sort of subscription based model where I think we're going to basically we have so many shows, so we're going to kind of launch on their platform for our fans, and that's where every month we'll do a free or a concert will be included every month, whether it's from here at this at my piano at the house, or we rent other spaces and do kind of different shows. And in that space we'll be hosting things like the Dear Jack benefit audio and video. We'll host we have so many concerts recorded that we never did anything. The Pen and Piano tour never came out, and we recorded all of that. So we're going to kind of try and make it a really cool rotating bin of awesome media stuff that's been that hasn't really made its way into the world, and do that through that space. So yeah, you should be able to start getting access to that stuff probably come around like May, I think, around the same time we launched the Detroit.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate
it. Of course, no problem. All right, I see somebody's back bouncing up and down. You know who you are because you're facing the other direction. Yeah, there you are. Okay. I can't see them, but they did. I think they were raising their hand, or maybe they're just having fun. Oh, yeah, there we go. You come out. Yeah, see, you come out. I can't see your face.
Okay, sorry about that. I don't know why, but
okay.
I just want to know if we can expect any new music, like an EP or a full-length album at all this year. Is that in the cards or no?
Well, the short answer is yes. The long answer is, of course, I won't put anything out unless I'm really stoked on it. So there's definitely, I did just do a new record deal. I just signed a deal this month. I was kind of waiting to do that until I got closer with the books. I've learned in my advancing age here that I can only do one thing at a time. I've stopped trying to multitask, and so there was a minute where I was writing music and writing the book, and then I was like, I can't do both and do them well. So I focused on the book, and with that done in April, I'll start session work on new music. There's already a song that I'm really, really excited about, and I've been sitting on it for more than a year, just kind of waiting for when you release things independently, whatever, it can sometimes be like the tree falling in the forest, and you have to be okay with that. But I'm excited to have a little muscle behind the music coming up. So yeah, I plan on, between now and the fall when we leave for tour, hopefully putting a whole bunch of music together. And in a dream world, the book and a new album or an EP or something come out before the fall, and then I go on the road. That's my big hope.
That's awesome. I mean, I've loved the last 2 songs you put out, so really looking forward to more.
Amazing.
Look at this crowd. I mean, it's so cool. It's
I know. How about that? Look at this.
I really like. I mean, we've been talking about this for a while, John, and I was like, we should do this with my people. They're gonna have fun in here. Have you guys explored the other world? Yeah, you gotta go on a.
Yeah, there's a bunch more worlds. There's a bunch of secret Easter eggs to find in these worlds that'll teleport you different places if you haven't found them yet. And there's so much more to discover. Unfortunately, we are at time now, and I want to be respectful of Andrew's time. And there's other panels as well opening up, which I'd encourage you guys to go check out. There's an incredible panel being hosted by The Deep End, an incredible venue in Bushwick that our friends started. At the beginning of the pandemic, they pivoted hard to feed frontline workers with the tacos they make in their venue because they couldn't open up to people, but they could make tacos. So they made over 18,000 meals for frontline workers, and they continue to feed people in need. And that's where all the ticket sales are going today, to the Deep End. And so thank you for joining us today for that. And then there's also going to be a Core Mega trivia game, which is another pandemic pivot where you can play trivia in a space. And then a few other presentations as well. So I'd encourage you, if you press J, you can jump between the different worlds, and then there's an after party hang, and all kinds of stuff to do. But I would like to say to Andrew, if you have any last words or shares, or if we want to take a couple more questions, I'm down to do that as well. We should probably get out of here in a couple minutes, but
okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, well, I guess my hope is I just hope you guys are all good and that everybody's well and your people are healthy and safe. It's been just a traumatic year. I think even if you didn't feel traumatized by it, I think just the junk of it and how long it lasted is going to live with us for a long time. And so I just I hope everybody in that crowd that I'm looking out at is doing okay. I lost a friend this past week, and it was just like really hit home. It was just like, wow, it really is. It obviously this year's taken a toll on a lot of people, whether you got COVID or not. And I just hope everybody's doing okay. And I'm grateful for you coming and supporting the charity here and supporting John and Nowhere, because when come fall, when hopefully we all get to see each other in a room, John and I have sort of made a commitment to ourselves to really make it a total, just a freak fest, like just as weird as
which is dangerous. That's dangerous with our brains.
We just want people to show up and feel like it's okay to dream, and it's okay to feel silly and be someplace with people where you feel loved and taken care of, and just get to lose your mind a little bit, because I think we've been losing our minds in the worst way. Like, I want the fall to be about like just shedding all of that garbage that we've been through, and just say like, okay, we're here, like we're back. So I'm looking forward to that experiment, Mr. Rubber Duck Man over there. John's responsible for the rubber duck and the parachutes and the wacky wavy inflatables and the highly offensive inflatable sex scene in the fire escape. That's all. and he's also the man in the gold Speedo with the hatchet and the little in a animal head. If you want to go baast and revisit that. Elise was in the video.
Elise was in that video. Yeah. Who else was in that video? That was anybody else in here? That was a super fun team effort.
If anybody has one, we'll take like 2 more questions before we go. If anybody's got anything, I'm happy to do it before we split. Everybody feel good? Seems like everybody's feeling good. Oh, she's jumping. Okay, you in the peaches sweatshirt with a hand like that? Yeah, you. That's it.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
My wife wants to know if you can congratulate her for getting married in October.
Oh my God.
You're about to be married, or you did get married?
Got married in October, but
congratulations.
Until next year, this year at least.
Were there like 10 people there, or were like 1 people? Like who got to be there?
It was our parents and siblings. And
Yeah.
I did
Are you ready to
I
have
did
the party? Are you going to do the party next year?
parties in December, but I walked down the aisle to Restless Dream.
Oh, I love that song.
And then we walked out to Fire Escape because my husband was also in the music video.
I
And
love
our first
it. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our first
Yeah,
dance
of
was actually
course.
a cover of "Walking on a Dream" that you did at Spotify.
Ah, I like that one too. God, that's like, those dudes. I love that song just in general. I was so stoked to get to do something, actually do a cover of it.
Your cover blew us away, so it had to be our first dance.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad it could be so woven through the fabric of your COVID nuptials.
Thank you.
Cool. Does anybody have one more before we go? I think. Oh, there. Oh, we got the kids again. I'll get you next, at least. We'll do these two. Okay. I saw you over here, my young friend in the blonde hair. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Like the highlight of the pandemic for these kids to go see you and their favorite.
You guys were in the front row, right?
What was your favorite song? Dark Blue is their favorite song, and so 16-year-old sings Dark Blue. So like, thank you for just being family friendly and amazing and doing these things for us because we've tuned in.
Well, I'm thankful you guys came. It was something for all of us. I promise. The therapy worked both ways. So I'm glad. Yeah, awesome. And then we'll give Elise one last one before we go.
Yeah, so I am a karaoke queen, and that's the thing I miss most about the real world aside from concerts. But none of there's only very select music from your discography at karaoke, and I was wondering if that's something you control or your label controls. Dark Blue is not on the only songs that I found. They have Cecilia, and I think that's it, and maybe one song from People and Things. It's very weird, and every karaoke bar I've been to in the entire world, never been able to sing If You See Jordan is on. That
I was going to say some corporate songs I've definitely seen on there, like Constantine. I've seen in
what? Where are you going?
I'm pretty sure.
How would you hear somebody saying karaoke?
I don't even like karaoke.
Oh my God, did you just lose your mind?
I don't know.
The worst day that would be the worst night in a bar ever. Somebody
it's
goes
like when someone does Bohemian Rhapsody and they can't do it. It's the same length, I think.
Yeah. So before we go, to answer the question, I have no idea. I think the one downside of constantly starting over and jumping from label to label and manager to manager and and assigning new names to my projects is that there isn't this sort of one central figure or entity that's we need to make sure he's his shit got published or it's in a karaoke bar. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? It's by the time somebody would do it, I've moved on. So I now have a pretty good team, and I'm gonna, this, John. We've got Jake now, and so I'll.
Yeah, Jake's great.
I'm gonna hit Jake. I'll be like, dude, apparently we're not represented in the karaoke bars. It's time to get to work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on his list tonight. He's gonna be like, seriously, are you really hitting me with this? And be like, yeah, the fans want the karaoke.
Yeah.
They got to get it.
Fans need karaoke. You got to make it happen.
I appreciate that, and also the vinyl market for your back catalog is insane. Even getting your first Wilderness record, the prices on it are. I spent the last year hunting for vinyl. Would you ever release back catalog full set like the Killers have done that, some other bands have done that?
Yeah. The short answer is I'd love to. The long answer is a lot of the labels that own the material are really kind of they sort of make it so it's if I want to buy a record, I basically have to buy it at full price from them, which makes it really hard to sell it because then But that said, we have been looking into going back into something corporate catalog.
He'll come back.
You disappeared.
I disappeared?
There was a little glitch. You turned into a moose and then you came back. It was amazing. It was like a magic trick.
Yeah, but it looked cool.
But we missed We missed from when you said that you basically have to buy you
Oh,
basically
yeah,
have to
so-
buy the record.
Yeah, the labels, there's not a lot of incentive for them to give me like wholesale vinyl. So it's been kind of tricky to get them to do it as much as I've tried. But I know we are trying to work on getting Leaving Through the Window back in circulation, because I think that's hitting its 20-year this year. Crazy. Wow. It's wild. So we're gonna get that one back in circulation. We're working on that now. And then with the new deal that I did, I'm going to be in charge of my own vinyl from here on out. I am my own record company when it comes to the printing of vinyl for new music. So you can expect at least moving forward that I'll be doing a lot more of that. And then hopefully whatever we learn from that process, we can kind of apply backwards to the catalog. Because I agree, I hate seeing people spend that kind of money for vinyl. It's bullshit. It sucks.
Yeah. Glass Passengers got repressed by Records on Vinyl or that company that represses. So I snagged that from a local record store pre-order. So if anyone's looking for Glass Passenger, it got repressed. I don't know how many, but
yeah.
Cool.
Meanwhile, I tried to do it, and the label like basically like snubbed me. I was like, "Don't you think you want the artist to actually be able to sell their record?" They're like, "We don't give a shit."
Wow.
But it's all good. I know it's time to get to that panel. Thank you guys so much for coming in and doing this weird thing. Yet one more bizarre COVID awesome thing that we never would have done that I'm so grateful to have done. So thanks, John, for hosting me.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. And thank you guys all for supporting both new platforms and new pivots, trying to provide places we can do these collective gatherings, and for always supporting Andrew's music and keep supporting the musicians out there who, and take care of yourselves and stay healthy. And I will say that the trivia game is quite fun. If you want to press J and then you go over, play trivia, or just hang out. This room will close, but the trivia game and then the deep end takeover is fun. And then there's a DJ and an after party. So y'all are all welcome to stay and hang. And maybe Andrew will pop in later and say hello.
Cecilia to go on a tour, so I might be running around with her in a little bit, John.
Yeah, nice. I love it. But thank you guys again, and thank you, Andrew, again. It's always a pleasure to see you, my man. And we have something awesome in the fall for you guys live. So can't wait.